name is Derek Stallwood. I'm the chairman of the Deptford Republican Club. We're back again with another one of our virtual town halls. Tonight we got our candidates Dave and Robin with us. We're going to talk a little bit about the primary versus the general election tonight, and our policy that we want to get forward about voting for mayor rather than leave him as a council appointee. Just a couple of announcements of what we've got going on. May 29th, this Saturday, we'll be walking Oak Valley starting around 11 a.m. So keep an eye out for us there. We'll be going to town with a truck and trailer, banners, all that stuff. So it's going to be hard to miss us, but we'll be out. And then June 8th is the primary election. So, as it sits right now, we are unopposed, but we encourage everybody to get out for the primaries. Get out there, vote. No matter which way you vote, we want to see as many people out voting as possible. But especially if you're a Republican, come out and vote for us because we absolutely want it for our 4 candidates. Going into the primary, we have the poll challengers lined up, but we need more, especially when it comes up for the general election. We want to make sure that we get them as many challengers as possible so we can cover all the voting areas in Deptford. So if you're interested in being a poll challenger, it's a full day job. It's going to be a day off, November 2nd on election day.
Well, you can do it in shifts.
Well, you could shift it out. Yep. But if you're interested in it, get a hold of us here. You can get a hold of us here on the Facebook. You can go to our website, deptfordnjgop.org. And then also with the primary elections next week, I'm sure everybody's seen the Democrats have their yard signs out because there is a primary election for the Democrats in town here. We don't have our yard signs out yet. Again, we're running unopposed, but we will absolutely have them for the general election. So if anybody's interested in getting yard signs for the general election, make sure that you go to our website again, Deptford Republican Club, or deptfordnjgop.org. Go to the candidates tab, go all the way to the bottom, and you'll see there's a button there to request your yard sign, and we'll get you on the list. And then come the general election, we'll make sure that you get one for your lawn. Or if you want a bunch of them to put them all out, you can line them all up. I don't care how many you get, we'll get as many out there, because I know we're seeing them all around right now, and I'm a little jealous we don't have them out right now.
Yeah.
But, come to general, I'd love to see our signs all over Deptford, and I think there's plenty of people out there that want to get them.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between the primary versus the general election. Again, the primary election's coming up, and that's more internal party stuff, and we've been getting some questions about it, so we do want to talk on that, as well as a little bit of registering to vote, changing your affiliation, and that. Robin's got some of the stuff there for that if you want to talk on that.
So I've had a few individuals reach out to me over the past few weeks regarding the fact of our yard signs and actually asking for yard signs and inquiring where can they go to get them or who do they need to contact. Aside from contacting myself, I've also directed them to our webpage. But through that, people have been a little upset because we haven't had our yard signs, and I guess they're fearful that we're not going to get recognized or known throughout town. I think so far we're doing pretty good at getting ourselves known. The reason for not having the signs for the primary is, as you all know, we are a grassroots effort, so we have to watch our finances. The most important time for us is the general election, so I want to explain a little bit of the difference between the two because I've had people reach out to me a little bit confused. So the primary, as some of you I'm sure have seen, there is someone opposing the incumbents that are already on council. And because of that, signs have been put out from both of their sides. There hasn't been a need for signs from our side because, as Derek mentioned, we're running unopposed. Come November, which is the general election, or let me start with the primary. Whoever comes out from the primary with the Democrats, whoever wins those 4 positions, will then be running against us in November in the general. That is a time where we really need to get the word out. We'll be canvassing, we'll be putting yard signs out, and we will be opposing the Democrats, and that is when we will need you all to go out and vote for us down the line.
I think we'll get the yard signs out, and you might be sick of seeing them. I want to see so many of them out there. It's going to be great.
Yes, I like our yard signs. We do have them. They are designed, but we're holding off on that. Do you want me to go into the voting thing, or?
Well, yeah. Well, like you're saying, there's some people that are asking the difference between the primary and the general, right? So the primary that's coming up is more in party. So the parties are trying to determine who they're going to run for the general election, and then the general election is the partisan one, Democrat versus Republican or independent. In town here right now, it's just Democrat versus Republican when it comes to the general.
Right.
So, if you want to talk about the affiliations and that's fine.
So the other thing that I've had people come to me about and inquire about is voter registration, or how do I change my party. So There is a link on the top of our Deptford Club forum page on Facebook that is under announcements. If you want to go through that, I printed it out, but it's under announcements. It actually goes through the website that you can click on that will take you to the form that will allow you to fill it out and mail it in to have your party affiliation changed. You can also do that through the county store in the Deptford Mall. They'll give you the same form that you would print out at home if you have access to a printer, and they said that they will mail them in for you. That form looks like this. I don't know how well you can all see it on the camera though. Probably not real well. I don't know. It's kind of tiny. But at the very top of it, it does say political party affiliation declaration form. So that is something you can do to change your party. If you're not registered to vote, there's this big whole long form you can print out and fill out, but you can also now, which is kind of nice, I noticed tonight I took the time and went on the website, they took the time and they updated their website. You can actually go on the website and register to vote on their state website, and don't mind me, I'm old and blind, so I have to put my glasses on. So it's the official site of the state of New Jersey. It's a voter registration application, and what you will need is a current driver's license or a non-driver identification card, or a social security number. Now that was as far as I could get on it, because then it says down at the bottom, get started, and when you click on that, the first page it brings you to is it asks you if you're a U.S. citizen and those typical questions. It looks like it's a step-by-step process, but looked pretty simple to me. So if you're not registered to vote, I highly recommend you get out and exercise your right and register to vote. So come November, because at this point it's too late for you to vote in the primary, but come November, you'll be able to vote.
All right, and that's the whole thing that we're trying to do here is get everybody in Deptford engaged and out there involved. You got anything on that, Dave, or you want to move on to?
I think that's pretty much covered it all. I mean, it's not a hard thing to do. My girlfriend just got recently, she recently got registered to vote, so she's good to go. And it took 5 minutes to fill out the forms.
Did she register, Dave, or did she have to change her party affiliation?
She was non-registered before. So
okay, so good for her. She registered. Yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, I think you're going to see a lot of people registered for the first time. I mean, a lot of people don't pay attention, but certainly recently, I think people are.
Yeah, I definitely think people are paying attention to, more so to the world around us and what's going on in our town. Which leads me to a point of, I do wish that we could see more people attending the town council meetings. I don't plan on talking a lot about that tonight, but as I'm sure some of you know, we have been going to the town council meetings, to the work session meetings, trying to find out more of what's going on in town. It's very hard to do. I personally was at the Veterans Committee and had a conversation with our present mayor, and flat out asked him, where can I go to learn more information, or where can I ask questions, because by the Sunshine Law, you can ask questions at a town council meeting, but they do not need to be answered. So I was trying to find out the answer to that, and unfortunately, I didn't find out the answer even at the Veterans Committee meeting. So I do think, and I do encourage residents to come out and try to learn more about our town and what's going on in our town, because I think, and I was that resident at one point, we just kind of walk around, you know, things are good. And I'm not saying things are bad in Deptford. Things are good in Deptford. A lot of things I see going on in Deptford and have went on in Deptford, and we're not here to say things were bad in Deptford. But there are things going on that a lot of people aren't aware of. I've learned a lot of things about Deptford through people coming to me who are fearful for their job, and they can't come right out and say what's going on or what party they really want to support because they're fearful for their job, and that concerns me. There's a lot of things going on that I think if you took the time to come to town council meetings, you'd be surprised. So,
yeah, I mean, we've seen quite a few things go on, and I don't think we've gotten an answer to any of our questions.
But I think we've only scratched the surface, quite honestly. So.
Well, that kind of rolls right into what we wanted to touch on tonight. One of our main policies is voting for our mayor. A lot of people, when we tell them in this endeavor, don't know we don't vote for our mayor. So as it sits right now in our position in the Faulkner Act, the council is elected by the residents, and then the council among themselves vote to determine who the mayor is going to be. What do you think on that, Dave?
I absolutely believe that we should have a mayor who is voted at large. Just for the simple fact that it gives more transparency. You could have a council full of Democrats, or a split, a majority Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. But the mayor can be voted on separately and serve as a check and balance to what goes on in the council.
I agree. I definitely think that the idea of council being filled with all Democrats and allowing them the ability to appoint the mayor is not fair to everyone in town. First of all, I think it'd be more beneficial and proper if council had not just Dems on it, but also Republicans. Even at that point, if a mayor was still appointed, at least everyone's voice, everyone's perspective could be heard. I don't feel at this point everyone's is. So with that being said, I do think that we need to move forward and find a way to be able to elect our mayor and allow the residents of Deptford Township to elect their mayor.
Well, like Dave said, it acts as a check.
It does.
So if you have the council dominated on one way or the other and you don't necessarily like it, you can vote for the mayor to be that check on the council. And, you know, like you guys were saying about having a bipartisan council, that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to be that bipartisan. That's why we have Robin and Dave, and then Rich and Martin as well running, so that we can shake it up a little bit and get that representation.
Yeah, it's never a good idea for just one party to be in full control. That's what happens. Bad things happen when that happens.
Yeah, and I think everyone's voice matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, it ends up just becoming one party rule. You get one side of the story, and that's the way it goes. And
then you get everyone else fearful.
And just because your council basically becomes a rubber stamp.
Yes.
yeah, and then so as it sits right now for the mayor, we know that we've had Mayor Medani for 20, I think you said 21 or 23 years. You know, and that's a long time. And I know a lot of people have expressed that they would like to vote for their mayor, especially after we tell them that they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Which is strange because you go into the ballot and you don't see it.
Yeah, it's funny. There's been many years where I voted and I never dawned on me. I don't know why. I just always walked in, you know, I saw the ballot, you know, check 3 here, check 2 here, whatever was needed for that year, and that's what I did. And then it was through this process that I was even shocked that we don't vote for our mayor. And I don't mean that as a personal attack on our present mayor. I just think across the board in general, we should vote for our mayor. It's just, we vote for our president, why wouldn't we vote for our mayor?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the mayor acts as the executive just as the president does.
Right.
So
he's the chairperson of our town, the leader of our town. So just like the president's the leader of our nation.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a vitally important position that everyone should be able to voice their opinion and do that through voting.
Right. Well, we can kind of talk about like a bit of the general process of how to go about it, right? Because a lot of people they don't know that we don't vote for our mayor, and they don't know why, which is our position in the Faulkner Act.
Right.
So you want to touch on kind of the general process of what we need to do, starting with getting all 4 of you guys elected.
Yeah, well, that's the most important and easiest thing for us to do is if all 4 of us get on the council, we can easily do it. Other ways are possible, but they're much more complicated, and the process takes forever. And we want to elect our mayor now. We don't want to wait 4 years or 8 years or whatever from now for the other process to work out.
Right. Yeah. Well, so, we say we want to get all 4 of our people in so that we can make that process happen, because there would be a vote on the council to put it into a ballot question, where the residents would vote on whether or not they believe that we should be voting for our mayor. Yeah. So it's not something that we just get in and say, okay, we vote for mayor.
We can't do that. What we would do is we would have to submit an ordinance, and then that would turn to a referendum for you to vote on if we can or not vote for a mayor. But I'm sure a lot of people out there, they feel that we should vote for our mayor.
Yeah, I think if they see the ballot question, a lot of people would see that ballot question and be like, wait, what?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, I thought we always did that. But,
well, our job is to make sure that that doesn't surprise people when it comes to it.
Yes.
To try and drum up the support for it. I mean, we kind of touched on like the whys and hows a little bit, and I think the whys are pretty exemplary, especially like you were saying. Come out to these council meetings, and I think you get a pretty good idea as to why we need to be able to elect our mayor.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to say this. So it's not just a matter of, it's not just a matter of coming out to the council meetings and experiencing a council meeting. Mayor Medani does do a lot of speaking through a council meeting, as he should. He's the chairperson, and I understand that. I am surprised that more of the council members, not just at the council meeting, but aren't more present in the town. I watch the videos occasionally on the Deptford Township website, and it's usually Mayor Medani doing the videos. The business blitzes have been, for what I've seen, there's been about 4 or 5 that I've personally watched where Mayor Medani and Councilman Bornshaw were at. I again wondered, and I understand people have jobs, but I wondered where were the other council members doing things of that nature. I guess maybe it's a matter of us getting on council and learning or understanding what our roles would be in that, because quite honestly, I'm a very active person. I don't want to let someone else take the reins and do everything. I think we should all be participating and doing things in town and showing up and making all of our voices heard, not just particular ones on the council. So that's what I kind of get from the council meetings. It's Mayor Medani speaks a lot, and then the other council members speak a little. So
Yeah, I mean, they all go through it, and you can see, they all get a turn to speak, but they don't really speak on substance. And then even to the point of substance, we don't see much of that at these meetings anyway.
Yeah,
No.
they don't really say much. They just basically just pat themselves on the back about how good of a job they're doing. That's
it's a lot
pretty
of
much all you
thank
see.
yous. A lot of thank yous.
Yeah.
And to what we're trying to do is build that engagement with the community, and that's why we
Right.
encourage everybody to come out to all the events, come out to the meetings, come out to the town events, and engage in town. We want to build a good community of engaged residents so that everybody's voice gets heard, and we can solve the problems that are out there. Because, like you said, there are people that come to us that say that with problems that aren't being addressed.
Right, and you don't have to feel like you just come to us, during a live. You're watching us on a live and you decide to comment. It doesn't have to just be then. We're always available. We're always here to answer, whether it's us personally through, I know a lot of you know how to reach out to us through the Facebook pages. I know a lot of us have our information available also. If you want to reach out and text us, call us, email us, that is very accessible. But we're always here to listen. We'll always, even though we're not on council at this point, we're always here to try to make a difference, to help you fight for whatever you need to fight for, or whatever concerns you might have in town. That's part of what we feel our job is already. It's not just a matter of being appointed to council. It's a matter of fighting for you guys just as candidates to make a difference in the town. I've had a few people come to me that have had issues in the town that don't know what to do, don't know where to turn, and though I'm not on council and I can't physically do anything for them, I've tried to give them guidance and suggestions as to what to do, and when they follow through on those things, if they don't work out or they're still struggling, they come back to me and I give them other ideas. So at this point, I think we all try to be here as a support system for various people in the town that have concerns that they don't feel are getting addressed at this moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can always, if you want to contact us, go to the website. That's our central point. www.deptfordnjgop.org, and everything's there. What we're
Yes.
about, all of our candidates, about our candidates.
Which I have to give a shout out to Damon, who runs our website.
Our webmaster.
He is
Yep.
amazing.
Doing a
Amazing.
very great
He adds things onto our webpage, so I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that was there. He's amazing.
Yeah,
I had to give him a shout out.
we get a post on Messenger and say, "Hey guys, I just put this up there," and we check it out. It's like, wow, it looks awesome.
Yeah, the things he makes this webpage do is just woo.
And that's going to be pretty central. Like I said, that's where all of our information is. So make sure you guys definitely check that out. If you have any questions, make sure to put them in the comments. We'll try and answer them here. We're going to have a bit of a quick one.
Hi, Pat. I said hi, sorry.
So we like the highs, but we like the questions as well.
Also, if you have a question, you go ahead and post it on the thing, and we'll if we can't answer it now, we'll get back to you. We go rewatch this and we check the questions that we missed, and we try to get back to you as best as we can.
And we're not going to just keep coming to you through Facebook Lives. You are going to see us in your neighborhood. Just give us time. We'll be there. Trust me, we'll be knocking on your doors.
Yeah. Well, especially as I said, this Saturday we're going to be in Oak Valley.
Yes.
My
and
hometown, yeah.
Dave's area, yep. And your parents live in Oak
Yeah,
Valley as
they
well.
do.
And so does another one of our members, Judy. Sanis lives there, and everybody loves Judy.
Judy's amazing. I love Judy.
So keep an eye out because we're going to be walking around. I think we're starting at around 11 o'clock in the morning. We'll do it for a couple of hours. We've got some brand new pamphlets that we're going to be handing out that we're excited about. So keep an eye out. And then if you see us, again, that's an opportunity to ask a question.
Yes.
If we don't have an answer then, we'll get it together.
We'll find out, we'll research it. If we don't have an answer, we'll get one for you.
All right. Well, like I said, we were kind of just wanted to touch a little bit tonight on the primary election coming up, which I think we covered pretty well, and then just one of our policy positions voting for mayor, as we think is pretty important.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you guys want to add to that, or?
I don't think we want to let all our cards out on the table just yet.
Well, I think they're out there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Believe me, they know what's going on.
Yeah. And that's perfectly okay, because although we don't have an award, I would say we're pretty transparent.
Yeah,
We're
and
very
also,
transparent. You can ask us anything, and we'll tell you anything.
and also just
Well,
our presence in
I
town.
will.
Also, just our presence in town and what we're doing is making them on their best behavior as well. As best as
I mean,
it can be.
aside from it being an election year, as Mayor
Yeah.
Danny likes to always point out to us,
Yeah.
there is a lot of nice things happening in town, especially this year. And do I want to say it's because of an election year? It could be, but whether it is or whether it isn't, it's nice to see, the parks that are getting built and, the beautifications that are happening around town. It is nice to see all that.
Especially coming out of this COVID winter.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely. We all have been.
I'm ready to get out.
I can't wait to get outside. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Weren't you outside today? No?
Oh yeah, chipping concrete. it's fun.
I actually had my first live job today.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it was nice. I didn't have to work remote today. I got to go to a job.
I haven't been able to work remote the whole time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know you can't.
I gotta be there to turn the wrenches. But
So do you have any questions?
no, I don't see any questions yet. See Damon there, our webmaster, he
Oh.
put the website in
Go down to
the chat there.
So pickleball votes. I see that Nicole has mentioned that. This is where I feel about that. I don't think we've really talked about that a whole lot, but previously. When it comes to the pickleball courts that are at Fasola Park, me personally, I would have liked to have seen that topic, and maybe it was, because I'm sure Mayor Medini would love to correct me on it if it was done, and I'm saying it wasn't. I would like to have seen a town vote go out on that. I don't remember ever seeing one. I've spoken to other individuals, asked them if they've ever seen one. I never saw where anyone got asked, what would you like to see down at Fasola Park if we were to do an improvement and put possibly, I'm just assuming, hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million into the renovations in Fasola Park, which are beautiful, but I think there's other audiences that we could have appealed to with doing other things at the park besides a pickleball court.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to have seen maybe possibly a vote go out, giving various options of these are the things we're looking at putting in Fasola Park. Vote for 3. What do you think?
Yeah.
But we didn't see any of that, so.
Because a long time request from people. As a matter of fact, I was at a council meeting, a couple of months ago, and there was an individual asking about a skate park. I mean, that could have been something that we could have done if we would have known. I mean, I don't even really know what pickleball is, honestly. So
I don't either, and I am willing to learn though. I will go check out pickleball.
I believe it's just slow tennis.
yeah.
Well, that's good because I'm not good at fast tennis, so.
I'm not entirely sure.
Slow tennis?
Well, that's all.
No, there's a YouTube on it. We're gonna YouTube it after we get on here. There's a YouTube on it. I know there is. There's
I'm
YouTube
sure
for
there's some
everything.
very serious people that play it.
There's serious people that play ping pong. There
Well, that's
is.
crazy. You ever see Forrest Gump? He's nuts. But if you guys don't have any more questions for us right now, then I think we're gonna cut out for now.
Did you scroll? Do we have
I
any
think that was it.
questions? I wanna
Yeah,
make
that's
sure.
all we got.
I just want to make sure we didn't miss anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, we're
Okay.
good.
And again, you can always submit the questions to us.
Yes.
We'll get back to you
Yes.
and make sure that we do in a timely fashion. Again, we'll be out in Oak Valley this Saturday, 11 o'clock in the morning. Look out for us. And
Don't forget,
can't
we
wait to
need
meet
more
you all.
challengers for the
Yes,
election
that's
in November.
important.
Don't forget. Don't hesitate to volunteer. That's what makes an organization happen and move forward and grow. Don't hesitate to reach out to a volunteer. We
Yes.
can always use volunteers.
We need volunteers
Not
because
crazy
you
people.
will get us elected.
Yes,
We need our volunteers.
volunteers are vitally important.
Yep. So again, reach out to us if you feel like you want to get involved in town. This is the perfect chance because Rich says it all the time. We're a grassroots movement.
Yes.
We're at the bottom floor of this thing.
Mhm.
You have a chance to have a real voice in not only our club but in Deptford.
Right. I agree.
All right, guys. Well, I'm good to go if you guys are. And
Yep.
thanks for everybody that came out. Have a good night.
Thanks,
And we hope
guys.
to see you in Oak Valley this Saturday.
Saturday. Yep.
Good night. Good night.
Have a good night.